guys. My name is Tanner. I'm a filmmaker from North Carolina, and this is my first ever ASMR video. I've been a huge fan of the ASMR community, mostly on Reddit, for the last year or so, and I thought it was time to give back to the community and start making videos. I want to apologize off the bat for audio and video quality. You'd think, being a filmmaker, that I'd have a nice camera, but I don't. I do have some really nice microphones, but I haven't figured out how to get them plugged into my computer. So hopefully within the next couple videos, I will have those plugged in. So this is mostly going to be an introduction video, a rant video, but there are a couple sounds that I'm going to be making. Can you guys hear that? There's a movie playing in one of the theaters. I'm actually in the projection booth right now. I work up here, and it's really quiet, and I have a lot of control over lighting, and I've got my own personalized workstation where I've got a lot of objects to kind of introduce myself to you guys and make some sounds. So first off, I need to hydrate, drinking some water from an unnamed water bottle maker. I like to tap my water bottle like a flute before I drink from it. Gotta stay hydrated. Like I said, I'm a filmmaker, but right now I work in the projection booth at my school, playing movies. This is actually the movie that I'm playing right now. It's called Band of Outsiders, and I work with a lot of DVD cases, and I think they make a really nice tapping sound. Speaking of audio quality, I'm doing this blind, so I hope you guys are able to hear this, and if not, I hope you enjoy having DVD cases whacked in your face for 3 minutes. But I do this for classes and for weekend screenings at my school. And that's how I make my living. Just doing that. I have awful seasonal allergies, so I have my trusted box of tissues that I can empty my face into. I have to always have these around, because you never know which teachers have a tissue box and which ones don't, and you don't want to be caught in an embarrassing situation. So I prefer to my own. Sorry about the water fountain. The water fountain that just turned on in the background. Hopefully that'll make some nice, like, white noise or something. soul ever pull, lift. That's a fresh new box. Freshly folded tissue. One of my many hobbies is I really like to cross stitch and knit and craft. And recently, a friend of mine came up to me and said, "Do you want this old thing I have lying around my house back home? It's a wolf's head inside of a dream catcher." And I was like, "That sounds badass. I would love that." It sounds kind of gross, but I would love that. I'll put it up in my house. So she bamboozled me because, to my surprise, it's a cross stitch of a wolf head in a dream catcher. But I think that's really neat because I get to create the wolf's head inside of a dream catcher. I mean, how much cooler does that get? A wolf's head. So it's really cool. And it comes with, I'm not sure if you guys can see it, but it comes with this little golden feather that goes on the outside, which kind of makes it like a 3D cross stitch, like a cross stitch with like ornaments on it. So I think that's really neat. I am a huge Song of Ice and Fire fan, which is the book series that the show Game of Thrones is adapted from. It's all in the same universe, and the show, if you didn't know, is adapted from books. Just in case you haven't watched it, or if you do watch it, just didn't know. But I fell in love with the show, and I've been falling in love with the books. I'm currently on the fourth one, Feast for Crows. I'm about 3/4 of the way through it. But I've recently started purchasing the books in physical format. I usually read them on my e-reader. And I have been trying to order old editions, like rarer editions of the books. And I ordered off of Abe Books, and they gave me the newest, like, the exact version I did not want. I mean, it's all the same book, so it's exactly the same, but I was like, I just want a nice hardback, and they sent me a mass market paperback, but whatever, I'm still happy with it. I just, it gives me more time to start my actual collection, but I love the way that it sounds. It's got, like, these indented letters, these 3D imprinted letters. I love that. My fingernails are crossed. I don't think I properly introduced the book. This is the first book. This is A Game of Thrones. It has the new cover with the HBO tie-in on the front. This is on the back of A Song of Ice and Fire, Book 1. I love the way books smell. New book is the best smell, but even if it's used, I mean, I just love the smell of the paper. You flick through it, the way it sounds. way the books are written too, not just like the actual content, although I love the content, but it's I love the way it's structured, which is like you have POV characters, you know, like you'll have a character, just like a chapter will just simply be called Daenerys, which is one of the major characters in the Song of Ice and Fire universe, and it will just be a chapter entirely dedicated to her POV, so you hear her thoughts, you hear what's inside her heart, what she's thinking, what she wants to do, and because of that, it becomes very personal. You're inside the person's head and heart and mind, and I think that's super neat way of structuring, because you're not just in one POV, you're flipping between these different characters and different geographical locations across a fictional world, seeing these different events in different places from different characters, and sometimes they'll even be the same event pictured from 1, 2, 3, even 4 characters at the same time, and you hear each person's different recollection or witness of that event, and I think that is super cool. I have been reading them nonstop, and I usually read them on this. This is my Nook tablet, which I use to do all my reading. And it's in a really nice case right now. I really like it. It's a little bit pricey, but it protects it, and it's a dust cover, and I really enjoy that. And it's got this little flap here where I can put letters and different things that I like to read. You know, if I just want to recollect things, like old letters, old notes, things like that. It has a little area where you can put where this Nook belongs to. But I'm a busy man. Ain't nobody got time for that. Sorry for that reference. I'm really sorry for that reference. But seriously, I just haven't found the time to fill that in. So anyway, on to the main event, which is the actual Nook itself. I love this thing so much. It's given me so many hours of reading. I mean, I love a physical book. Like, I get that argument. I mean, before I moved to ebooks, I would make that argument all the time. Like, there's nothing quite like a physical book. But it's so convenient. I mean, I've got an entire library with me wherever I go. Right in my book bag. It's super thin, super lightweight. It fits in my hand perfectly. I promise that Barnes & Noble isn't endorsing me. I don't know why they would, considering this is my first video, but this isn't a review. I just love my Nook, and it's great to like lie in bed, because, like I said, I'm kind of lazy. So when I'm in bed reading, I like to lay on my side, and with a book, when you've got an actual physical book, it's just kind of like reading it on your side. It's kind of like, it's kind of a pain to kind of fiddle with. So instead, I've got this, which is really nice. And I mean, any e-reader will work, but I just love my Nook. People rag on me sometimes because they like get a Kindle brat, and I'm fine. I'm fine with this. When I first got it, I was really impressed by the build, like how nice it is. Just like the back is like this really nice texture. I don't really know what material it is. It's some sort of plastic or something, or alloy or something like that. But it sounds really nice. Oh, sorry, there's a class like right in that theater. So if you can hear any of them or applause, I think they're taking a midterm right now, which is why it's so quiet. So I guess I got lucky. But I'm able to have my entire library great for like when you're working out or when you're traveling or just going to work. I just noticed something. I have a Greetings from Michigan shirt on. I am not from Michigan, like I said, I'm from North Carolina, but I've actually never even been to Michigan. I really want to go. But this shirt is from one of my favorite musicians ever, which is Sufjan Stevens. He had a musical project going for a short amount of time where he was going to do 50 states, 50 albums. And he had one called Greetings from Michigan, which is this. And he had one called Come On and Feel the Illinois. And then there's kind of a pseudo one, which is called the BQE, which is the Brooklyn Queens Expressway, which I guess is kind of like a New York album. But either way, Greetings from Michigan by Sufjan Stevens is one of my favorite albums of all time. I'm a musician myself, and it's been a huge inspiration to me. So, for any Sufjan Stevens fans out there that are watching, you're awesome. But more about technology. I know it's weird, but I'm just kind of obsessed with the back material on this. It's so comfy. It's just this really nice textured. Like I said, I have no idea what material it is, but I have so much yet to read, and a friend of mine sent me a link to a website the other day where you can download all these classics that are in the public domain that are free to download, which is super nice. So I've got a bunch of classics on there. I've got like Great Expectations and things like that that I never got around to reading. I wasn't really into reading when I was younger, you know, like around the time where you probably read Great Expectations and things like that. In fact, one of the only like really classic novels I can remember reading was like Treasure Island or The Count of Monte Cristo, which is a great book. But I didn't really get into reading very much until I was in high school, and in college it really took off. I mean, I loved Harry Potter. I mean, who doesn't like Harry Potter? But I didn't really get into this like constant. Like I've got and A Song of Ice and Fire certainly helped that. But I've been reading a lot lately. I just recently read Mere Christianity by C.S. Lewis, which is awesome. And Cat's Cradle by Kurt Vonnegut. I was on a Kurt Vonnegut kick for a little while and read Slaughterhouse-5 for the first time ever. Things like that. I really want to read Catch-22. Yeah, I bet you guys can hear the electric guitar wailing from the movie in the theater. To finish off, I have this triggers for some people, but I'm not sure if it'll work for all of you guys, so I saved it for last. But I have what's left of Pop-Tart I was eating earlier. I went ahead and gave it a head start a little while ago. But I have to be really careful. I don't want to make this too loud and startle you guys. But I love Pop-Tarts, which leads me to an interesting debate. Who was the marketing genius who was able to convince America that Pop-Tarts were breakfast material? You know? This is a raspberry-filled one, and I don't think anyone can make any debate to say that Pop-Tarts aren't just giant rectangular cookies, because they are. there's literally Oreo Pop-Tarts that are just giant rectangular Oreos, and for some reason, we just accept that it's a breakfast food, you know? I gotta wash that down. It's like an old Jim Gaffigan spot where he's talking about, like, there's a kid talking to his dad, and he asks, "Can I have cake for breakfast, Dad?" And his dad says, "No, but you can have fried cake with syrup." You know, it's just like this. It's like, "Mom, can I have cookies for breakfast?" "No, but you can have a giant rectangular frosted jelly-filled cookie." You know? When I was a kid, I used to. My mom never let me eat that stuff because the big sugary cereals. I used to beg my mom to let me have Reese's Puffs cereal. Reese's are my favorite thing. Reese's Pieces. No, Reese's Pieces. That's how I remember it. It's Reese's Pieces, not Reese's Pieces. Anyway, Reese's are one of my favorite things to exist. And I've only had Reese's Puffs a couple times in my entire life. So, as you can tell, I had a very sad childhood. I had a great childhood. I got to read Harry Potter. So anyway, this is my first ever ASMR video. I hope this was able to work for some of you. Please let me know. Please give me some feedback on if this worked or how I can improve besides sound quality, but I'm working on that. I hope you guys enjoyed. So please let me know if any questions or advice or anything that would work better or things that you liked, things you didn't like.